Welcome to The Bridge, a podcast for dental professionals featuring the insights and expertise of fellow dental professionals. Let's welcome our host, Stephen Kuza.
Good afternoon, Bridge Dental Podcast listeners. This is Steve Kuza, your resident financial advisor for dentists around the country. I'm with a special guest today, and we have a special episode today. I got Marvin Naimi with me, the dentist marketer. And as well as many other things, father, husband, all these great things. Marvin, how you doing?
Good, buddy. Good. Great to hear from you. Excited to be on this podcast and excited to be interviewed by you, man. You're an interesting guy yourself. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, we're going to have some fun today. And for those of you listening to the agenda today, Marvin's going to break down from his angle what he has seen, both the good, the bad, the ugly in dentist marketing. Maybe some good ideas. Maybe you guys can walk away with one or two ideas that you guys can implement immediately. And in general, at the end of the episode, Marvin will drop a couple notes on how we can get in touch with him and to make sure that you guys are taking full advantage with the right amount of dollars in your marketing world, in your practice. So sit back, enjoy your morning coffee as you're listening to this, going to work, or whatever you're doing right now. Doesn't matter, right?
Exactly, right?
All right, Marvin, well, let's do this. Let's, for the people that don't know you, let's give them an intro in understanding, what your story is, where you're at today, and how you're working with different practices, not just dentistry, but in general.
Sure. No, thanks. I've been in the digital marketing space for my entire adult life, which is about 25 years. I started in Detroit, actually, had an office there, and now I reside out in San Diego. I still have a lot of family and clients out in Detroit, and I visit there almost every month, quite frankly, to, visit my clients and visit family. And what's happened is, in the last 5 to 10 years, as I was kind of explaining to you offline, I've gotten a lot of requests from the cosmetic surgery, cosmetic dental space, really in the healthcare kind of world, about how to market. And, I've noticed there was definitely kind of a missing element there for some of these practices, because the doctors and the staff are focused more on the patients, which
Sure.
They should be, quite frankly. And, I'll give some insight here on, where I want to give some suggestions to these dentists on how to follow specific digital marketing tactics. But I've kind of, because of some success I've had with various practices, I've gotten a bunch of referrals for other dental practices. And I've just seen kind of the good, bad, and the ugly. And, I'll share some of that here during this episode, but I'm no stranger to digital marketing in every, category, whether it's construction or restaurants, or healthcare. I've started up companies. I've been part of several startups, sit on the board of a couple of different companies. So my company's called Digital Entourage. And, we'll exchange, so I'll give some contact information later, but that's kind of my background, and excited to kind of share some insight today with your followers. So,
What was the name of the company again?
It's called Digital Entourage. Digital Entourage. Okay. So, and my name is Marvin. So,
Marvin, and and what's cool about this is you're running your own business, right? I mean, this is your own business. So you've not only had to market for others, but you're marketing for yourself.
Correct.
Which I think a lot of people can appreciate. And you and I run similar practices in a sense, because we're the main driver for bringing in business as well.
Yeah.
And then, you have a team that helps execute that, but which a lot of dentists are in that case as well. They have a team, they have really good people that work with them, but they're also the driver for bringing people to that firm. And so regardless of dentistry, I think we could give some insight into what type of prospecting and marketing we could come up with. But
yeah, no doubt.
So let's just dive right into it. If I'm a dentist and I'm running a practice and we have our specific geographical area that patients come to, but how do we start generating additional interest? So where does someone even begin? Do they just, I think there's some familiar stuff they do, the mailers and that sort of thing around the surrounding community, but where should maybe that business plan for their marketing come about? And how would you start to address it from the beginning if I was just starting to build this marketing plan out?
Sure. So if you're just starting to build out the marketing plan, I'm going to start, Stephen, I guess, from, let's say you're building out a business and you're just opening a practice. So you're not taking over, and we could get into this, but you're not taking over some practice with a ton of business.
It could be a startup, right?
Maybe it's a startup, it's a new brand and all that. So I think, right out of the gate, what you need to do is you find a company like a Digital Entourage that can help you with your branding. Obviously, you want to make sure your logo, your business cards, your marketing collateral, your website, all that stuff, that's home base. That's phase one. You make sure you get a company that you trust that builds that out the way you want it to look. That's had some experience. And then keeping in mind, if you could, just make the site user friendly. Probably prefer to keep prices off. That's kind of what I've noticed. It's more just, what are you going to do for me? What are those services? And you find those pain points and you address them immediately on the homepage, of your site. So right out of the gate, just have home base, which is set up your social media accounts, set up an email marketing platform account. Sometimes they'll come with the patient management lead system you purchased. A lot of times those are very rudimentary, where you can't really control the design of them. They're more geared to like send an automated text or some ugly automated email. That's finding people. But as far as, let's say you get 500 or 5,000 leads and you get to a point where you really want to communicate with them, you should probably do it through a MailChimp, a Klaviyo, a Contact, because you can control the design more there, and the stats they give are very insightful. How the open rates, what time are they opening it, where did they click? There's heat maps around that. So that's, I would say, website, email account, social media accounts, obviously logo and other marketing collateral. That would be your phase one in your home base. So you should get that done and established even before you open the doors.
Let's bookmark that for a second. Let's dive into that a little bit deeper. So how important is it? I'm thinking like when I started 15 years ago, I couldn't wait, Marvin, to get my business card. And for those of you, watching this, it's like, boom, there's my business card.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is like the biggest piece of brand I got right now.
Yep.
And you have the generic website, but if we're talking, so now it's way more multifaceted, right? And people are online all the time. They're on their phones all the time, the Instagram, TikToks, whatever. So how would you prioritize either where to spend time, and then maybe how would you prioritize money? So like, would I spend a lot of time on designing my business card, or should I spend a lot of time getting my Instagram up and running? I'm just curious, like, how would you start to navigate that?
Yeah, I think that all is part of the kind of a phase one kind of package. I think think about when your door is open, what should you be able to have to offer? You should probably have a couple of kind of your old school marketing items, a flyer possibly that someone might want to take, business cards possibly, and then all the digital stuff, to me, should be set before the doors are open. For two reasons. Number one, you don't want to have to deal with that because now you have an office that's open,
right?
And you want to be able to just tell people, go to my site, download, the forms here, or fill out the new patient forms on the site before you come in. You don't want to have to deal with, are the forms working on my site? People can start following you immediately. And probably the most important part where I would spend time would be, I would immediately start running some simple social media marketing ads towards in and around your area to generate a little bit of awareness. Maybe, hey, coming soon, new patient special, refer a friend program. That way, at least you're on the radar. It's pretty cost effective on social media. I'd probably start with Facebook and Instagram at that point. That's where I would spend kind of my time and effort, is tightening up my social media accounts and my website. That is home base. A lot of people will find you on social, and that's fine, but you can't showcase everything right there.
Correct.
You want to be able to have a site where they can go fill out forms and check out a lot of your before and after pictures and testimonials. You can try to fit it all in your little Instagram account, but some people want to go back to their office and open it up on their desktop and really view your site. Even if it's on their phone, they want to go to different pages. So I would prioritize it as all the digital stuff should probably be first, and then just a couple of basics, a flyer and a business card. Now we're just talking about before you open. Right. That would, I think, the plan there. To drum up some traffic, I think, right away, some awareness.
And I'm too old, but so when I see some anxiety around marketing, I think that people or dentists, I'm going to be very general about it, but I don't know if you're getting this sense. They feel like they got to be go viral on Instagram, and really it's to showcase, the brand. So if I go on there, I just can kind of get a glimpse of who you are, right? That's how I see it. What do you see? Do you have, I feel like if they don't go viral, they're like, man, this Instagram is a failure, or this social networking piece is a failure. What I don't know, but what are you seeing on your end?
No, what I'm seeing usually the hesitation. What I see is normally they want to make sure, dental practices and all businesses, quite frankly, just want to make sure the time and the money that they're spending promoting their business,
Sure.
Whether it's an influencer or whether it's attempting to go viral or whether it's email marketing or all the above, they just want to make sure it's paying off.
Yeah, very true.
That's what I see. A lot of people come to me through referrals, and they will have used some agency, and they get, they're spending money and they're spending it down a rabbit hole, not seeing results. The reporting they'll get from the agencies, and it's important, whether it's me or anybody you work with, that's important. You need to see which services on your site are garnering the most traffic. If you're going the influencer route or you're trying to go viral, there's stats behind that, right. You want to make sure how many people viewed it. Were they women or men? What were the ages? If they shared or liked it, are you remarketing to these people? So it's really, I feel like an agency who's done this and does this for a living, you should probably lean towards a company like that, because they can draw off of, past experiences,
previous clients.
Exactly, to be able to capitalize. And Stephen, quite frankly, every dentist office is different. So some don't even prioritize social media. They say, listen, I want to be on Google. I want the warm leads right away. I could care less about the looky-loos and getting impressions and all that. I want patients in the door right now. And quite frankly, that's what Bing and Google are there for.
Right.
That's somebody searching for teeth whitening, San Diego, best dentist around me. Right. I mean, you do want those people are looking for it. The other people who are looking at their old girlfriends and boyfriends on Instagram, and it pops up, oh, here's, this company, this dentist office does veneers. That's nice. Maybe they'll click it and be interested. Right. But quite frankly, they're probably on there looking for other things,
Right,
so
true.
that lead that comes in could be colder than a Google or Bing lead, but that's where the eyeballs are, so that's a little more cost efficient, so you have to be on both. And that's what I pitch to the dental offices. I go, look, I don't think you should be so narrow-minded. You should definitely be all over when it comes to digital, whether it's search engine marketing or social media marketing or email marketing. But that's
and that's good insight. I mean, maybe I'm just trying to go viral, but no.
that's for sure. I mean, you're not the only one. That's for sure. It's also, if you think about it, for you, it makes sense.
Right. I mean, I have a national base. I mean,
you have a national base. Yeah. You have a podcast here. The more subscribers, the better. That's fantastic. Right. You're a dental office. Now, if you're a franchise,
right, it can be different.
And you're looking to be, hey, I want to separate myself. My goal is to open 30 offices in 10 different states. Then it starts making some sense, saying, I'm going to sink some time and effort and money into going viral, because I want an investor to come and say, here's $20 million. I love your concept. Right. You're doing family kid dentistry and you got a superhero logo, and that's fine. But at least from what I've noticed, the most people that come to me are, I've got 1 or 2 locations. I want to get started. Where do I start? I wouldn't say right away, let's go viral. I would kind of point out let's get everything intact first, phase 1, and then you start growing from there, that you build up credibility and authenticity. So
where should, all right, so let's get to the money, right? The costs and marketing. And
sure.
What's so funny to me, it's like anytime the economy gets roughed up a little bit, people typically cut marketing budgets first, but usually that's like the kind of like the buy low, sell high strategy of and then people do the opposite. In marketing, it seems like when the economy's a little roughed up, that's actually when you want to put the dollars into marketing to drive even more business to you, because there's competitors who are moving out, and we're not talking about dentistry, just in general.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the cost of marketing. And let's use this startup scenario. How much, there's ratios and KPIs, and you should spend this much on your budget for it. But how would you approach it, or how would you advise to approach it if I'm a dentist who wants to bring in the cosmetic side and want to let people know that I just took over this practice in this area or opened it.
Yeah.
Where should I start from the financial planning or financial cost of it?
Part of it. No, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
I mean, there's no perfect answer, but I'm curious, like as a more of a philosophy behind it.
Sure. I think it does vary. I'll bring up a philosophy, but it does vary per business because I've run into offices that seem to have maybe overspent, I feel, on the office itself and maybe the equipment itself right out of the gate. It's kind of like, you build this beautiful building. You don't really have any tenants yet. Like you haven't even it'd be nice if you had lined up some tenants. You kind of get an idea of this is the city I'm in. This is how much I could charge for rent, et cetera. So some people I've noticed, are a little hesitant to spend probably what they should.
Okay.
Get out there and start marketing, maybe because their build out was a little too expensive. Okay. That's a different audience. That's where you go, okay, well, listen, here's a budget. You probably want to spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month. I'm just going to put it out there just to start on either Google or, social media or both, just to start building awareness, start generating some leads, maybe at, $3-4 a pop on social media, maybe $10 to $15 per lead, is what you'll see in the industry on Google and on Bing oftentimes. But what I would, and then you'd have other people who are maybe taking over an existing practice, or they've come in already with a marketing budget in mind, saying, hey, look, I'm going to be spending X amount of money, 10% of my budget, 20% of my budget, between staff and this and that on marketing. And they'll come to me with somewhat of a budget already that they're going, do I do a drive-by billboard? How much do I do on print? How much do I do on digital? And I'll help them kind of decipher where I think it should go, what I've seen in the past. And a majority of it, quite frankly, should go digital. I mean, that's probably a given. So, and then for those people, it's the startup would probably be right, around $4, $5, $6 per month, between, hey, making sure my website's tight, running ads on social, I'm getting noticed on Google, I'm sending out an email campaign per week, I'm retargeting these leads that are coming in. That's probably the proper way and the proper package, what you should be probably paying in order to see substantial leads coming in.
Sure.
Your staff following up with them, and they're not always going to come in, month one,
right.
2-3 months down the line, you'll finally see somebody who saw your implant ad and said, okay, I finally have to do this. Or, you know what, my dad needs this. Let me forward him this ad or this email. So that's, if you want to talk some pricing, I think that's a good place to start. And then inevitably what happens, whether they start with, $1,000 budget or a $10,000 budget, after about 6 months, no matter who they're working with, every month, if not bi-weekly, they should be given a report that says, here's what we're doing. We're spending $1,500 on social media. These ads are resonating. The one with the woman testimonial that said, love this dentist. He did this with my family. This ad's not working so well. This is just a before and after picture that maybe no one seems to care about. Whatever it is,
right?
You filter it out. You start to optimize, Stephen. And you go, let's remove this ad. Let's put more money towards the woman who's, that has testimonial. And quite frankly, let's go get more testimonials.
Yeah.
After 6 months, you should have a formula where you've trimmed all the fat, all the keywords on Google search, on Bing search are stripped away. You have the high converting keywords in there. Your landing pages have now been optimized to ensure that people who are clicking on an ad, getting to your site, are converting. And on social, you should find out you should know the demographic now and the geographic. Who's the target here? Where's my money makers? It's veneers, it's implants. Typically, that's what I'm finding, at least. Those procedures. That's where people go, wow, okay, there's a video, there's some before and after pictures. That's the price, or maybe a voucher of some sort that they collect. That's more strategy. But I think that's where, about 4 to 6 months is where you'll really start to pay dividends with any company that's worth, their weight.
So
and then you're set, Stephen. Then you just start pouring more into whatever services, and it should be bringing in, whether you spend 10 or 50,000, you should already have the formula and say, look, if I want to open in Clawson, or I want to open in Southfield, or I want to open in San Diego or Chicago. Yeah, the market's kind of different, but I know the ads that work. I know the keywords that work. I've got my landing pages. I have a form. And that's kind of what we pitch is our formula works. It's proven.
So, well, and obviously based through previous experience too. I mean, you've seen it. And so, but if I'm starting down this marketing path, don't expect 30-day turnaround. It's this 6 months of optimization that you get closer and closer to as the 6 months approaches, and then beyond, of course. Which is something I just try to preach to a lot of people, whether it's dentistry or otherwise building the business, is spend time. When you start a new venture, it's not a 30-day turnaround on any of it.
Exactly.
A new marketing technique, a new technique to bring in more revenue for your practice, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's great info. That's great info. If I'm hearing you correctly, it's you got to find the right firm that you trust to come back to you with that data, and they should be, to what I'm hearing you say, they should be delivering this back to the dentist.
Yeah, exactly. Either the dentist or some staffer that is in charge of, quite frankly, somebody that's in charge of following up with your patients and your leads.
Okay, sure.
They're the first line of defense going, hey, yeah, you got me 50 leads, but 45 people didn't even answer the phone.
I gotcha. Okay. So they can give you the real data.
Yeah. And then, hey, the 7 people I did talk to said, the price is too much or something. So then you go, oh, okay, maybe we don't list the price. Let's promote the quality first. Let's deal with the price, whatever it is, you get that. Now, I'm giving you kind of the out of the box. What I do recommend, and this, if you choose our company, we do, we like to get a little creative with the marketing.
Okay.
Maybe not just to go viral, but, especially if it's a newer office, like a giveaway or a contest.
Okay.
And not a cheesy one. I mean, a real deal giveaway of whether it's braces for your kid, or whether it's 2 tickets to the Michigan game, or whatever, 2 tickets to the Pistons game or something, that at the very least, it's efficient. That can kind of go viral.
That gets viral a little bit, right?
Yeah, you go, oh, you know what, man? I want to go to the game against Steph Curry. The Golden State Warriors are coming to town. Then go get 4 tickets to it and say, hey, look, new office. This is what's going on. The first X customers are going to get tickets to this game, and it's not like a cheesy thing. It's really to go, whoa, this is kind of cool. There's a new dentist in the area. He's got tickets to the Warriors, and this is his thing. He does it for the Lions. He does it for, some other team, or a concert, Taylor Swift. Get 2 tickets, man. It probably costs.
That'd go viral.
Yeah. At least you become
Taylor
that
Swift concert.
Exactly. You can become that office where you go, shit, I might as well just fill out the form and follow these people and just see what's going on and go visit it. And then at least you got some eyeballs and some attention.
Sure.
Where you're doing organic posts daily or weekly going, hey, and by the way, this is Teresa. Tell her about your experience today. And then you get into some of that creative, organic patient testimonial flow that'll help you with traffic and really credibility. And then when you're running ads and you reach my cousin, who doesn't know that you're giving away tickets and all that. And they go, oh, interesting. Veneers, click. I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to follow them on social.
Yeah. So now you're,
whoa.
Yeah.
There's an office that, man, when kids come in, I don't know, they bust out a guitar or they do this or whatever the little theme that they have going on, tickets or whatever, some giveaway. They're going, cool. I want to check in here every couple of days, or I want to get alerted when they're doing new posts. Those types of dentists, at least I'm noticing, it's a more modern way to get in front of that younger demographic.
Sure.
And have them follow. So
almost like instant credibility too. They just because that's what the younger generation sees as credible versus before. It's like if you didn't shake someone's hand, it was no credibility. And now they can do it through a phone, right? Which is cool. All right. So where are you seeing? I have a couple different ways I want to go with this, but where do you see? Let's start with where do you see dentists? And I hate to say wasting money, or maybe let's start with where do you see them potentially spending too much money instead of calling it wasting money?
Yeah.
And then where do you see dentists not maybe running a specific marketing strategy too long, which is somewhat of a waste of money, right? Like they're still hoping or praying or forgetting that this is out there. But help me understand that from whether it's the cosmetic side or the social media side, but just help me understand that. Where do you see people where they're not using efficient dollars?
So I'm going to reframe it a little bit.
Sure.
and talk and really get to I think an issue that a lot of doctors in general, but dentists, and also fall into this category, that is a mistake. That seems to be a mistake in this day and age of marketing, and that's promoting themselves. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're wasting money, but for instance, it'll be, I have X amount of years of experience. I graduated from this school. I feel like that's 20 years ago, that was important.
Right.
That generation. This generation is a little busier. And and really what we see and the messaging that resonates is, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah.
What pain point are you solving? So the wasting time and money could be, I'm the best doctor, I'm the best office. Yeah. I don't believe you. I could care less that you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Very skeptical.
Yeah. It's more like, hey, plaster my homepage and plaster my social media account with everyone besides me. Let me see 2 staff members that enjoy working at your office. Does your staff like you? I've been in offices where they're a little aloof, the doctors, and their staff kind of isn't that supportive. They're just there. That's not the friendliest atmosphere. Show me a couple staff members that go, you know what? Love this guy or woman. This is how I feel. We work here. It's so genuine. Maybe put a little video of having a little fun there or whatever, just to kind of add to, oh, wow, at least the staff likes working there. That's a start. Then you don't believe them. Here are my patients.
Right.
That's what people want to see. And that's why, so I would take those funds towards 20 years of experience, went to this school, we did that, this many procedures, blah, blah, blah. Everybody says that. I would literally just make ads out of testimonials, customer, staff, and take that money and move it from wasting it on, I'm a hero, and moving it to, my patients are happy, my staff is happy. You want, when it comes to that dental environment, that's what you want to walk into.
For sure.
I'm not looking forward to going and getting your freaking teeth pulled, but you come in, you go, it's cool, it's friendly. I like to see so-and-so at the front, and they're always they're joking around, and every week they're posting new patients that seem to love this place. So, man, that's where I want to take my kids. So that's where I would allocate funds, where maybe they're spending on themselves, and literally just move it on, focus on your staff and focus on your patients, not yourself. When you get there, they'll love you more, going, oh, you're the guy or the woman behind those testimonials and that staff, and just be humble about it. That's the approach that I've seen really resonate with this generation.
That's really profound. So, which is like less about me, which it seems like common sense, but you're proud of the work you've done naturally. Hey, maybe I'll establish credibility through, I graduated, like you said, from this school with this record, and I was voted, best dentist in Michigan or whatever.
Yeah.
But more about the office and the engagement within the staff, because really nowadays you're probably seeing more of the staff than you actually do see the doctor anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
so first impression, really, Stephen, should be that. And then obviously there's going to be some curiosity, and you're going to go, boy, they really love working in this office. Boy,
right. What's that about?
Love coming here. Right. Let's go click the meet the staff or meet the doctor now. Yeah. Then you have this different sense when you're reading it going, oh, wow, that interesting. Michigan State. Maybe they turn out dentists that are friendly and great. I'm just bringing that as an example. They're going to read it in a different mindset than when you lead with it. They're going to almost feel like, all right, they're selling themselves too much here. Like let someone else sell you. And then it's easy. At that point, you got them. They're going, I'm coming to this office, man. Whether the woman is cool or not, I'm coming in because the staff loves them and the patients seem to love them. I can't wait to meet this doctor. So that's the mentality there.
Well, 20 years ago, you went to the dentist just to get in and out of there, right? And now I think they have to offer more of that experience, which is funny to say, but they do. I think we all do in some respect with our businesses. And it reminds me, I did a podcast about a year ago or a year and a half ago with a gentleman. They have I think they got 5 practices now, but it was so funny. So every office in each city was designed differently with the flow of that city and office and environment. Nice. And then, so they weren't all static. They didn't all look the same. And the radio station that the music they selected was so popular, they created the radio station on Spotify or whatever he did. And it's so cool. So the patients can listen to their radio station. I mean, and that's you understanding your market and your marketplace and what your clients want. And I mean, I wanted to go there. I'm like, cool. Like they had cool artwork in each office. So it was more of an experience to go to the dentist now that could work for them. It may not work for somebody else, but either way, it's that type of creativity that I think people underestimate, that they could show their clients a different way to do things and still accomplish the implant or the Invisalign treatment, right?
It's first of all, great point. And I know you have a lot of clients that are in this space and people that are listening now that are in that dental space. So I'm glad you have access to a lot of these neat businesses who are marketing in different ways and building out their offices in different ways. You had mentioned kind of earlier in the podcast that it could be, there's certain times in marketing where you could be spending money when others aren't. And you got, is it seasonal, that type of thing. And some people will pull back when others are pushing. So what I found, and this is another little nugget here, is that during some of the off seasons in every industry, what you should probably be focusing on there maybe is not necessarily generating new leads. Okay. That's a good time where you still have a budget for that, but you're focusing on remarketing and retargeting to your current patients.
Yeah. So it's like the marketing calendar, right? But
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of falls into maybe an email or a text where you start to solicit information and say, hey, we want to better our office for our patients this year. Give us, some suggestions on what you think, our office is missing. How's our music? What would what type of category would you want to listen to? Yeah. If we've got Netflix going, what would you want played? I mean, whatever it is, what do you think of this theme? And you kind of start engaging them a little bit. So number one, you're keeping in touch with them. You're staying top of mind. And that's a cost-efficient way of getting in front of these people. Not only maybe they'll come in to say, hey,
that's like a low cost, high impact, right? Absolutely. Because if nothing happens, it was a text message campaign. If anything, we learn more about our clientele. Exactly. But all of a sudden you may have gotten 20 referrals you don't even know about yet because they were like, look at this is my dentist. Like they were sitting down when they texted me, right? Like, look at my dentist, what they're asking me, right?
Exactly. And I feel like as a patient, you might be more apt to respond to, oh, they're asking me for my advice did this, what do you think of this room? Or what do you think we should do here? We're thinking of painting or whatever it is. They might be more apt to share that and respond to that than like, you know what, I got to give something away at a low cost.
Sure.
Teeth whitening for just the X amount of dollars, hurry, limited time. That's okay too. But people, I feel like, are inundated with that all the time. You might as well draw them in with, you know what, I got a lot of feedback on how I can improve my office. Then you might hit them with, hey, thanks for your information. Thanks for your response. You or your friends, don't forget, this is what we're offering.
So the follow-up.
A friendly way to segue into it. But that's what I would probably do is retarget to that. I just noticed that not just dentist offices, but it's hard to go get new eyeballs and new leads into the door to trust you. But it's simple to continue to make and cost efficient to continue to make your current clients happy and keep them, have them refer friends. Because at some point you almost want to stop spending all that money getting new leads because you go, all right, I'm so busy at this office. I need to go open another one, maybe, right. I need to get another hygienist in here or another dentist. So, that's what I find is kind of a flaw in many businesses is they just don't retarget and coddle their current audience enough. They're very focused on new, and that costs way more money than converting already people that maybe haven't come in yet.
But, and I don't know how it works in other businesses, but obviously the longer you are around, the higher volume of repeat business you're going to have. Yeah. And less new business, which makes sense because you're not new anymore. You yourself, your business is not new. You're going to have more repeat customers. Yeah. And I think new dentists, new advisors, new business owners make it too hard because they're 5 years in and they're going new. Yes. And they forgot about they did all the legwork for 4 years. So they're missing so much of the business model in the repeat business. Yeah. Or clients that didn't become clients or patients that left and maybe you can get them to come back. You already touched a lot of people. So I love that idea in the down season. Man, if you take one thing away from this podcast, take that away. If you get during those down seasons, I'm thinking of always down stock markets. During down seasons, retarget your advertising towards your existing clientele is kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Absolutely. And it's really the agency or the marketing person in-house, whoever's handling it. A lot of them just don't know, or they just.
Right. I mean, if it's not my expertise, or it's just they're responsible for it, but they're not you, right? They're not you and your firm.
Yeah. So. And other firms I've seen just kind of, unfortunately, they'll do a lot of set it and forget it. They're thrilled to have the client in the door, and then, they're on to the next account. Hopefully this works. But, we get a lot of those that come in, they go, hey, this fizzled out. What happened? And we look at the numbers and the analytics and go, it just looks like there was no TLC here. There was no creativity. Every month we should be brainstorming on what's new. Is this the time of year? And another thing I want to share with you that I'm noticing in the dental space is that I think several, businesses I'm working with said this to me. July, August, like the summertime used to kind of be a boom for dentists where it's like, okay, where kids are off, or like July and August, let's get in for the cleanings. Let's get everything done. Let's get the braces started so that, they don't have to do it when school starts. But the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, everybody's traveling.
Right.
The summers are, and I have clients in the travel space. The travel and concert / ticketing market is absolutely booming.
Okay.
It did last summer and even more this summer. So those traditional people that come in for those cleanings and braces and all that stuff, they're not coming in. So I don't know if you want to call it the seasonal thing, but this is where we're going, okay, let's start remarketing now to people that already know us.
Right.
And go, look, whoever's still around, whoever's ever still in town, whoever didn't go blow $1,000 on a Taylor Swift ticket, and you want to get your braces done.
Top row.
We're here. Maybe you should come in. So that's maybe not a time to expect new leads to be coming in because everybody's finishing up their travel season. They're going to concerts. So that's a little nugget too I wanted to throw in there is that.
I love it.
I'm assuming that businesses are experiencing that, in particular doctors' offices.
I've heard it on my end that just they're not as busy, and when they say that, I know what they mean. They mean new patient. They're probably getting their normal, scheduled out appointments that were scheduled 6 months prior or whatever, but not as much new lead business. So from the summer. So when you were talking though, I just read this today. I wanted to bring this up because as you were just talking about that, it refreshed my memory. So James Clear, he's the guy who wrote Atomic Habits, great book. And he puts out his newsletter, and this is from entrepreneur and author Derek Sivers. Sorry, Derek, if I'm saying that wrong, if you're randomly listening to a dental podcast. But he said, never forget that absolutely everything you do is for your customers. Make every decision, even decisions about whether to expand the business, raise money, promote someone according to what's best for your customers. If you're ever unsure on what to prioritize, just ask your customers the open-ended question, how can I best help you now? Then focus on satisfying those requests. It's counterintuitive, but the way you grow your business is to focus entirely on your existing customers just to thrill them, and they will tell everyone. So, which is what you just said, or in what you were just talking about.
I'm going to write a book, Stephen.
Write the book. But that's the point. So you get you can create the thrill of that clientele, and then they're going to go market for you.
Yeah.
Right.
No, so, I agree. And look, a lot of people listening might already kind of know that, but sometimes you need to be reminded,
we all get pushed in different directions. Yeah,
exactly. And go, you know what? You're right. I know that should happen. This is what I needed to kind of put me over the edge, to get that done. So, all right. So we touched on a few things. What are a couple things that people could do? And kind of as we kind of run to the end of the marketing conversation, what are some things that people could do that are low cost, high impact? That was definitely one of them. During down seasons, you reach out to your existing clientele, create a marketing campaign on that. What are you seeing where there's some good things that they can implement? I will be honest with you, I don't see a lot of text message campaign. I see the email campaign stuff. But you walk us through maybe some things that offices
could implement, easy implementation, low cost, high impact type of stuff?
Definitely three things. Number one is organic posts to your social media account. So people could potentially, that's free, right? It's just a minute of your time to sit there, whether it's a patient or a staff member that is providing some type of good insight. Maybe even have the dentist or hygienist or somebody, on a weekly basis, focus on some little 30-second, hey, did you know this about dental implants? Or we had an interesting question the other day from a patient who came in, and this is what happened. Tell me a quick story about what happened. I'd like to know what happened with Fred when he came in.
So you would define that as an organic post? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. You're giving content, I guess. You're providing free content, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's just a little bit of time. That's an efficient way to just prove authority in your industry, prove authority, stay connected, and then email and text. That's just what I know. It's just, you can send out a blast to 10, 20,000 leads that you have in your database or however many you have. Design on a nice email. It's efficient, doesn't cost a lot. You're hitting people that already are in your database, and maybe you give an incentive to share it. So that's an efficient way. And then texting is a tad bit more expensive, just depending on how many users you have in there. But that's one thing that we specialize in, and we design out text message campaigns that link to really nicely designed out landing pages that it's an enticing text. We don't do it super often, but weekly I think would be fine.
Okay.
And that's another way to just kind of get in front of your current audience. And it's a cost efficient way, and it could lead to, I want to share this with a friend, or I'm finally ready to convert. So I would say those three: just share content on social, email and text marketing. I mean, you should be doing that no matter what.
Okay. Good deal.
Exactly.
And if they, so Marvin, let's talk about you a little bit and your firm. How do people get in touch with you? What's the most efficient way if people are interested in what you're doing and how you can help them? Can you work outside of, I'm assuming you can, San Diego, California? And talk to us a little about that. And it sounds like you're doing a lot on the cosmetic side, which, everyone, but you tell us where you're at.
It's funny. It's cosmetic dentists that have just referred me friends that said, okay, I have a cosmetic surgeon, that might need some help. But I mean, if you visit me on LinkedIn, again, my name is Marvin Naimi, you'll see I'm involved in a couple of startups also. But Digital Entourage is my digital marketing company I've had for many years. My clients are all over the country. I am in this office here with my Rodney Dangerfield picture up there. I'm in San Diego, but like I said, I travel often to Detroit, to Florida, to LA, to different places, when necessary to meet with clients in person. But a lot of times we'll kick off via Zoom like this. If you want to give contact information later, the best way is probably just kind of fill out the form on our site or just shoot an email, quite frankly, to us. Be Marvin@digitalentourage.com or sales@digitalentourage.com. That'll come into our team. It's easy to get going. And the good news here is we have a formula that works, which is thankfully, because we've had so many of these clients, we've run so many ads. We're just very open and honest and going to be candid. And we'll tell you, wow, you have a great web presence. Hey, we might not be able to help you more than what you're getting right now.
Right.
But oftentimes we'll take a look. It's free to just kind of hop on. We'll do a little Zoom. I'll be blunt and say, I'll tell the truth and say, listen, your site's a little dated, or your social media account, nobody's posted anything in a month. That's making people wonder, man, if their site is not up to snuff, is their equipment up to snuff? If you haven't posted on social media in months, are these guys even open? Like no Google reviews in 2 months? You just start to go, okay, you might be looking at your competitors are doing this and they're beating you to the punch. So those are the kind of quick things that we'll just hit on, and different offices will have different needs for sure. But, we'll help identify those and help increase, whatever they want done. New leads, retargeting. We need more reviews, Marvin, whatever they need. We make sure we kind of tailor our package towards them in an affordable way. That's the last thing I'm going to leave you there as far as the package goes is, I've worked for large agencies that have the big downtown office and 50 employees. And those are usually the ones that are going to cost the most, and they're going to take you and they're going to follow you away. I'm just I'm just telling you, Steve,
Right.
from what I notice. Then you have your college kid, cousin that says, I'll do it for you for $1,000, everything, whatever you need, because you're looking for a couple bucks. And they might just spin up something for you real quick, but either it's going to suck and it's not going to reflect the professional office that you probably want to portray, or they're going to just end up, doing other things and they got to get another job and you're going to be left in the lurch. We kind of fall in the middle. We're not a huge company, but we're very talented designers and developers. And we're a little smaller staff, not 50, but we definitely have more than one or two. And we've seen it all already. And we kind of come into it, especially for dentists, and we'll easily be able to go, look, seen that. This is where we think you can improve. You tell us where you want to improve, and then we'll come back with a plan, deliver you, a little proposal and a strategy. And typically they'll look at it and go, Marvin, give me these 3 things. Let's wait on these 2.
Right.
Boom, let's go. And then we earn our credibility at that point. After a few months, usually they like what they see. And then we go, hey, those other 2 things we put on the back burner, we trust you guys now. Let's layer those in. So yeah, there you go.
Well, there's always a starting point. And if you don't understand your marketing relationship, I think that's a place to start, is like, do we understand what we're getting out of our current marketing, whether I'm doing it on my own or my college cousins doing it, or we have a firm doing it. It's just, do I even understand what we're doing? What are the use of the dollars? What's the return of those dollars and clients?
That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Exactly.
I think by the way, you've done it for several of my clients. You've helped them evaluate what they're currently doing. Giving them, hey, just some tidbits, because it doesn't need to, the whole thing doesn't need to be revamped. Here's maybe a couple of things you could add, but
yeah,
I think there's that starting point. Check back in. If you don't have an understanding of your marketing, then it's time. If you're listening to this, it's time to just say, all right, let's just take an hour. Where are the dollars going? What are we doing? And if I don't know it all, I need to reach out to someone like Marvin, an expert, just to give us a dial it in. Because most times people are willing to free consult, at least the beginning process of
Absolutely.
it, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, you're a friend, and I'm happy to do it for anybody that, obviously you've been referring my way, and everybody here that's listening. That's the point of this. I mean, is to just kind of spread some insight, some trust. And at the very least, my company will help you go into the right direction, whether it's a dental office or any other category, really,
Sure.
in the marketing space. And the funny thing is, we've had a couple of clients that, because this formula seemed to work, at least for their office, they've spun up other ideas, like other business ideas. I don't want to say that right now and be specific about it, but they've spun up different ideas, and they shared my contact information with someone who wanted to open up a different type of business. And hey, this formula is kind of working. So that's always a nice thing. I mean, just like a dentist loves when somebody runs out and says, man, this dentist office is great. They did a great job with my teeth whitening or whatever, as good as they feel. It's even better for me when I'm able to really kind of show off our talents and generate leads and get more people in the door for my customers, where they're saying, you got to call this company. It is. There's nothing like it. I mean, it's just that's the payoff right there for me. So
your goodwill and value will only go so far. The marketing can take it to another level, especially if you're really good at what you do and you're genuine and you care about your customers, as we were talking about. So
yeah, a lot of I noticed a lot of offices get roped into like yearly contracts.
Okay.
Anybody that's coming in,
not a good deal
for a year, be skeptical.
Okay.
Because it's almost human nature, where are they really going to give you that time and attention? For an entire year, it almost never works. Okay. I would say almost half of my referrals that come to me are like, I can't get out of this. I still have another 4 months. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe these companies are roping people in. So that doesn't happen here. Well, we might have a small minimum, maybe a couple months, depending on how large the scale. We don't want to do all this work and then say, thank you, we'll talk to you later. It's not worth it for them or for us, but don't get caught into the whole long-term commitments. Because if they're worth their weight, then immediately within the first couple of months, they'll be able to prove their worth, and you're going to want to keep them around. So
right.
I had to get that in there. I had some bullet points I was reading off of.
That's legit, because I wouldn't have known, and I've been like, okay, that seems normal. Sign a year commitment and we'll see how it goes. But you're saying either much shorter than that or month to month?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's got to be some type of step up where you go, look, at the 3-month mark, we got to reevaluate. And if you're not getting certain, there's got to be some repercussions there. If they're not coming through, it's just not fair. And I see a lot of people, unfortunately, just get roped into these automatic payments that have to be made. And we can't even take over their accounts until it's done. And it's rough, and it ends poorly a lot of times with them. So I had to get that out there, Steve.
No, that's legit. That's legit. And so we appreciate your expertise. I know you're a busy guy, family man, taking care of business and family, and everyone's trying to do well, and there's a right way to do it, and there's opportunity out there more than you know. Even if it's a geographical location, there's so many people you could that don't know you yet, right? So. That's the power of marketing and getting your brand out there. But we just appreciate your time, Marvin. So thank you so much for jumping on.
Absolutely, buddy. Good stuff. This was a pleasure. And I'm sure I'll see you in person soon.
That's right. Well, for all the Bridge Channel podcast listeners, thank you so much. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.